Welcome to Nendo Awaken, your soul's unlimited potential. My name is Eva, and as always, I'm so happy to have you here with me. And today I'm going to be kicking off a new series on my channel where I'm going to be sharing a bit of wisdom and insights and also tips on how basically what's the reason for all these experiences that we normally have in our life, whether good or bad, but mostly the bad experiences, and how what kind of mindset do you need to adopt, what kind of habits do you need to adopt going forward so that you're better able to handle this situation, especially the bad experiences when you encounter them. Because for most people, without their awareness, they let the bad experiences put them or shift them into victim mode and take them to a place that they have no business being. Like literally, for most people, when they encounter these bad experiences, it's when they actually end up hitting rock bottom. They'll end up now, when they're at rock bottom, they'll end up looking for the drugs and the alcohol and the sex or whatever just to help them get rid or numb that pain. And if you're watching this is not an experience I want for you. And I'm going to be sharing how you might be able to be aware when those situations are happening and what you need to do going forward so that those experiences are not as painful for you, right? So to start us off, I'm going to be sharing an amazing concept that I first had a couple of years ago from Michael Beckwith, who had shared to Vishen Lakhiani. Vishen Lakhiani is the founder of Mind Valley. If you haven't checked out Mind Valley, make sure you check it out. It's an amazing platform. And Michael Beckwith is basically an amazing spiritual teacher who featured in the movie The Secret. If you watch the movie, I know you've seen him, right? So basically, Michael told Vision this, that there are two ways that we as people grow. We can either grow through pain, or we can go through working hand in hand with your soul and your guidance just to uh, like growing incrementally, or you can grow through pain. So there are two ways of growing, right? So growing through pain, he calls it Kensho, and Satori is what he calls growing through the incremental changes that you need to make daily, basically working hand in hand with your soul. And that's what we call the Satori experience. For most people, sadly, they only get to awaken or even start working on themselves when they've encountered a lot of pain in the external world, right? That will look like you losing your job, you losing your partner, you losing your home, you experiencing any kind of trauma, from your environment, toxic friends, you name it. Like, think of any painful experience that most people, they tend to now start tapping into healing themselves after they've gone through those kind of painful experiences. But you know what? It doesn't have to be like that. If you were at all paying attention before, because like I was explaining in the story that I was sharing, that the universe is always trying to get your attention, right? So this is what happens, right? Picture this. If you're sitting next to someone who's trying to get your attention, what's the best way for that person to get your attention? Maybe to just lightly tap you on your shoulder, on your hand, right? Just to get you to look at them, right? But if you're not present and you miss that tap, what will this person do? They will literally now tap more painfully, more hard, to make sure that you pay attention to them. And this is what basically the soul does. It will send you videos, it will send you people, it will send you books to help spark that curiosity inside of you. But if you have no awareness, if you're not connected to your soul guidance, most people miss these opportunities when they come about. So we'll just ignore them. They'll just come and just go, like they never happened. So what does your soul do? It gets louder, right? So it will send a painful encounter for you. Maybe that might spark something inside of you. So that could be like, maybe the partner you have maybe abusing you in such a way, right? Maybe not too bad, something manageable, right? Kind of like to make you realize that I'm not supposed to be with this person. And what do most people do? Because now you're tapped into your ego, you'll tend to reason out that experience. You'll be like, maybe they were having a bad day, maybe this and this happened in their life, and you'll excuse that, not realizing that, hey, this was actually a sign that I'm not supposed to be here, In your workplace, it could be that you wake up and maybe a certain client decided to go and report you at work for something that was literally not your mistake, and your manager blew it out of proportion, and it was maybe a difficult couple of days for you, and maybe because of that experience you thought, maybe I should not be here. Like, I do not like this job at all. I need to look for something else. And then when that moment passes, you just forget. You're like, you know what? It's okay. It happened. I went through it. I was strong enough to pass through it and all that. And then you forget about it. So you see, this is basically your soul trying to spark inside of you that, hey, pay attention to me. You're not where you're supposed to be. It's time to tap into your soul's mission, to remember your soul's purpose, right? And if you're not listening, right? So now the soul now gets louder and louder. So now it was just your manager. Next time you could be accused of stealing something and end up in jail. And all of you just to make you wake up to realize that, hey, this was the wrong job. And it might not even get that extreme. It could be that you get threatened with a layoff and just told, like today, by your boss that we no longer require your services. So that was the soul now getting really loud with you, really present, like trying to make you pay attention that you need to remember your mission. But what do most people do, right? They'll feel sorry for themselves, drink the pain away, eat the food, eat junk food or whatever, anything just to numb their pain, right? Like that's what they do, thinking that they're healing themselves, but they're really not doing what they're supposed to do. And again, what does your soul do? It sends an even louder situation and experience to you to make you listen. And it will keep on getting more painful and more painful and more painful until the point where you stop and now you look at your soul and you're like, okay, I'm listening. Talk to me. And that's basically what happens with the Kensho moments. And for most people, and it's really sad, and it really doesn't have to be like this, for most human beings, they have to hit rock bottom for them to wake up. And it's such a sad situation to see. I see it all around me, right? Like with the experiences you hear on TV, on social media, whatever. And you can see that this person is just missing the message inside of them. Even with the people close to me. Like I can normally tell when someone is going through a situation that's requiring them to pay attention to something, but they're not paying attention to it. They're excusing it away, like giving all manner of excuses to avoid working on what they need to work on. And guess what? It gets more painful and more painful and more painful until the point it becomes so unbearable. My own awakening experiences back in 2019 was literally every area of my life not working. Like I got hit in my relationship, I got hit on my health, I got hit on my career, I got hit on my finances, I got hit on my emotional well-being. Like nothing was working. That was my rock bottom. I almost got depressed. But it took those painful experiences for me to finally sit down and say, you know what? I'm ready to make this pain end. I'm ready to work on myself. And the minute I say that, the universe kind of like opened up its doors to me. And now all of a sudden, the videos, the courses, the books, the teachers that I had been ignoring all through for all those years, now they started coming into my view or whatever. But now because I just wanted the pain to stop, now I was listening, and it was easier for me to say yes to paying for a certain course, which 2 years ago I thought was ridiculous. If I tell you, like, I've spent a lot of money on my personal development journey, like paying for courses, paying for books, paying for all these experiences, right? Because I value my development so much. I value the person that I'm becoming so much, and I'm okay paying that money right now. If this situation was made available to me 2 years or 3 years prior to me awakening, I would have looked at it like so ridiculous. And here's the thing, right? Like the universe had actually introduced me now to those courses that were supposed to heal me eventually. It had actually done that like a year before 2019. Like I actually had access to the course, but because they were charging a certain amount of money, which I found to be so ridiculous, I chose not to engage. So it took the soul being like, okay, fine, this person is really not listening to us. Okay, so let's stand a couple of situations to make her listen. And that is basically what happened with me, right? So when I was starting 2019, I started off the year in the worst way possible. And it actually continued for a couple of months before I finally sat down and was like, okay, I'm listening. What do you need from me right now? So if you're watching this, don't look at this video and think that, is this, if there's a spark inside of you, if anything that I've said right now in this current video has sparked something inside of you, please do not ignore that. This is your soul reaching out to you and telling you that, hey, it's time for us to work on us. It's time for you to remember what path you're supposed to be on, because maybe you forgot it. Okay? And probably not, I'm not even going to talk about your soul purpose or whatever. It could be that this is your video telling you that that relationship that you're in right now, that's not the best relationship for you. And maybe you've been ignoring those signs for such a long time, excusing the behavior of your partner because you're just so scared of venturing out into the world by yourself. That is more scary. Take this as a sign that, hey, it's time for me to get out of this situation and do something else for myself and attract someone better. Maybe you're watching this and maybe you wake up every day and you hate your life, you hate your job, like it doesn't fulfill you. And something inside of you has been saying that maybe it's time for me to try and find something else. Maybe it's time for me to try and connect with my purpose, with my passion. But you've been ignoring that. You've been using all manner of excuses to get you to not do the work in that area. Take this as a sign that it's time to start working on that. And trust me, you do not want to go through a Kensho moment. You do not want to have to hit rock bottom. If you actually don't have to do that, don't do that, right? If you're able to listen, if you're able now to look at your soul and say, hey, I'm paying attention, you'll find that these painful experiences, they'll actually become less and less. Because, and this is now me telling you, it's like, we cannot avoid pain forever. That's impossible. That's what we signed up for, unfortunately. Pain is part of our experience. What happens is that we become better equipped to handle the pain when we encounter it, when it happens. And also, you find that when you're working hand in hand with your soul, now this is a tip for you, when you're constantly connecting with your soul and constantly paying attention to all the signs and all the messages that are coming to you, what happens is that path from you to now truly healing yourself, it might be painful, it might be uncomfortable initially, but it will get easier and easier for you. Okay, so fear is always part of the process. I've talked about this in previous videos where I've said that anything that involves you getting out of your comfort zone, you're always gonna be scared of it. Like, fear is part of it. We cannot avoid the fear. Okay, but if you're working hand in hand with your soul, now here's the thing, right? You don't have to go through your journey by yourself. You have so much assistance from the divine, from your guides, from God, you name it, from your angels, whatever you resonate with. They're always willing to support you, to guide you through everything. And even if you don't believe in that, your higher self, your higher self, the higher version of you, where your soul resides, it's always wanting the best for you, wanting to guide you, wanting to help you align with your true path. So you're not alone on this. So it might get scary initially, but once you just jump over that hurdle, it gets easier and easier and easier. And that's how basically you want to go through life. You want to experience the Satori kind of experience where you're just working hand in hand with your soul, right? And taking the necessary steps each and every day, no matter how difficult it might be initially. But if you now decide that, you know what, I'm just gonna wait for it to hit rock bottom for me to wake up, that's okay. That's a valid choice. It's you are the divine creator of your own human experience. So if you choose to go down that path, well and good. Maybe there's a reason you need to go through that pain to get you to the next step. But if you're watching this, take this as a sign that it does not have to be that bad. Start taking the new action steps that you need to take going forward. Start connecting with your soul on a daily basis. Make that connection with your soul on a daily basis, and you'll find that life will get easier and easier for you the more and more you go through this journey. So I'm gonna end this video right now. I hope everything that I've said today has actually inspired you to start thinking differently. And in the next video, I'm gonna be sharing about experiences we have, right? And how basically you can start looking at those experiences to be able to tap into a better and well balanced version of yourself going forward. How you actually be better equipped to handle those painful experiences for yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna end this video right now. If you do like the kind of content that I do share out, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and also click on the notification bell that's next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any content I put out here. And as always, I end my videos by sharing how I can actually help you rediscover yourself and connect with your soul's potential, right? Awaken your true soul potential, because for most people, they don't remember why they came here. They don't remember what lessons they came to learn here. They actually do not even have that soul to soul connection that I was talking about in the video. When I'm talking about connecting to your soul, there are so many things that might actually be blocking you from connecting to your soul guidance. And that's basically what I help you with through my work. So I do work with two modalities. One of them is with the Akashic records. It's called soul realignment work. And with soul realignment, you're basically getting to discover your soul blueprint. Who are you designed to be? Before, when God created your particular soul, who did he create you to be? What gifts did he gift your soul? Because each of us, each soul that is in existence has a particular gift, right? And most people are not even aware of their soul gifts, and they tend to ignore their gifts and thinking that it's normal for me to be a good communicator compared to other people. But that's not normal, right? We're each gifted in our own individual ways. And with the soul realignment reading, you get to actually discover your particular soul gifts, right? Like the soul gifts are supposed to basically leverage to create a better human experience for yourself, because most people are really not living aligned to who they are at soul level. The second thing you get to discover with soul realignment work is discovering where your soul is originally from. Because here's a message for you, right? Like, not all souls who are currently on earth are actually from earth. For some people, we call them traveler souls. Souls actually incarnated elsewhere initially before choosing now to come and continue their human experience in this current lifetime, in this current planet. So if you want to know where your soul is from, check out what a soul realignment reading can do for you, right? I can actually help you with that. And number 3, you get to discover where are you currently vibrationally, right? Where are you getting your guidance from? Because for most people, you'll find that they're still identified with the level of ego. But if at all you're aware that you're a spiritual being, then with the soul realignment work, you'd actually get to determine where your higher self is located, in your oversoul. Which dimension basically are you getting your guidance from? So you get to discover that with the soul realignment reading. And the last thing is that you actually get to identify your soul story. You get to identify the particular lifetime that you started making negative choices, choices that went against who you are at soul level. And those choices, you're still making them right now. What happens with our soul blueprint is that the choices that we made in our past life, if they get imprinted now in our soul blueprint, what happens is that in the subsequent past lifetimes that we live, we keep on attracting the same situations to us in a bid to help us resolve these situations for ourselves. So like I was saying in the video, if you're not present to that, most souls, they never learn the lessons. And so now what happens is that you get to keep on repeating the lesson over and over and over and over again in all the lifetimes that you've had, including right now. And chances are all the experiences that you having currently are actually connected to your past life. Not all, but most of them are connected to past life choices. And with soul realignment work, you can actually get to discover what choices you made in the past that you're currently repeating now, and how you can actually resolve them for yourself. And the last thing with the soul realignment work is, of course, the healing process, which is you get to heal with the Akashic records. And I'm going to be explaining to you more on that if you book a reading with me. So make sure you check out the link down below in the description box if you're ready for a reading for yourself. Or if you have more questions on it, reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram, DM me. I'm always happy to answer. And the second modality I do work with is quantum flow, which is basically our technique that incorporates the use of breathwork, sound, and movement to help you biohack your nervous system and help you awaken your true essence, your true nature, literally, by clearing all the murkiness, all the trauma, all the wounds, all the stories that you've been recording and storing inside of your nervous system all the way from your mother's womb. Because a lot of people don't know this, that every experience that they've had in their life, every trauma, it's all recorded in your nervous system. And as long as you've been accumulating all that trauma in your body, you'll keep on attracting situations into your experiences that bear a vibrational match to this trauma, right? And feeling that pain over and over again. So with quantum flow, which incorporates again the use of breathwork, sound, and movement, and also uses certain ancient wisdom and new science-based basically techniques to help you release all this stuckness, break down the crystals that are formed in your nervous system, and get the energy flowing freely again. Basically, you'll be biohacking your energy centers, or what people like to call your chakras, with this quantum flow methodology. And by doing that, you actually get to rewire your physical body, your soul, your energy body, your thoughts, your emotions, all of that get rewired, and you return back to your natural state. So if you're curious about that, do reach out to me or check out the links down below to book a session with me. For now, I'm sending you so much love, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.